It's August 14th, 1945. Victory over Japan in World War II has just been declared. All over the world, impromptu victory parades are taking place. This photo, called BJ Day in Times Square, is one of the most famous photos from this celebration, and has also become one of the most famous photos of all time. At first glance, the photo, with its timeless black and white tones, appears like a romantic relic from the past. Yet, on closer examination, can we be so sure of this? The man is leaning so far over the woman that how can we know she is kissing him back? And are the onlookers' smiles enough to tell us what to make of the scene? And perhaps, more importantly, what does it say about viewers, so many of whom are eager to categorize it under the genre of romance?
The day of days for America and her allies. Crowds before the White House await the announcement from the president that the Japs have surrendered unconditionally.
The story behind this photo tells a different tale than the first impression it often creates. According to the photographer Alfred Eisenstadt, the sailor was elated, drunkenly weaving his way through the streets and kissing women. Eisenstadt waited for the sailor to approach the woman in white, and sure enough, he did. As a result, the image of two strangers pressed against each other has taken its place along other iconic pictures of Eisenstadt's, including the classic image of Marilyn Monroe in her white dress and a famous portrait of Albert Einstein. The photograph was published in Life magazine on August 27, 1945. Neither the man nor woman in the photo were even initially aware it was taken, let alone published. But when Life magazine reissued it in 1980, a whole bevy of people would come forward claiming to be the sailor and the nurse. Forensic specialists eventually identified the man as George Mendonça, a sailor who had recently returned from the war, and the woman as Greta Friedman, who in fact was not even a nurse, but rather a dental assistant who had wandered into Times Square to see what all the commotion was. George recalls seeing Greta and remembering what all the nurses had been through. His excitement was such that he seemed to have forgotten his date, the woman who would later become his wife, who was smiling in the background. Both Greta and George were eager to be identified as the subjects in the photo. They even reunited in New York at one point and signed copies of the photograph. The photo has been reproduced in countless forms, including a larger-than-life sculpture called Unconditional Surrender by Seward Johnson. Yet, as the narratives of Greta and George materialized, a feminist backlash emerged against the photo and the media response to the photo. Greta conveyed mixed emotions, describing it as a wonderful event, yet also recollecting how she was startled and grabbed. Many contemporary media outlets acknowledged Greta's account only to maintain the celebratory status of the photo. Just because Greta was not protesting the photo herself, as the feminist blog Crates and Ribbons maintained, it did not make it okay. In fact, Greta's twofold response is typical of women who feel pressure to conform to society's expectations of them. The backlash against the photo resurfaced in February of 2019, when George Mendonça passed away, leading to media attention and the vandalism of the statue, with Me Too sprayed across Greta's legs. Though the graffiti was removed from the statue, the shift in perspective remains. The celebration captured in this photo is no less valid, but the kiss itself, if it can even be called that, is not something to be celebrated. Rather, the kiss is a testament to the paradoxical ways that Me Too moments are often contained within joyous events, a dynamic that requires thoroughness and sensitivity on the part of the media and the viewers to parse out. The recent critiques of this photo mark a step in the right direction.